Out. Welcome in commentary editor for the Washington Times, Kelly Sadler. Project 21 National Advisory Board member and radio host Christopher Arps is here. And joining us on set, former Homeland Security Advisor, Secret Service Special Agent, and Newsmax contributor Charles Moreno. Charles, I want to start with you. Rolling Stone had a piece yesterday, and there have been so many bogus reports out recently, but Rolling Stone with an article basically saying that Fox News has got a secret Oppo file on Tucker Carlson, basically to keep him quiet. Basically, this is suggesting that they've got dirt on Tucker. I don't buy it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't buy it either. I think this simply came down to a fact that they didn't think they could control him anymore. They didn't like what was coming out of his mouth. Look, there's no doubt that Tucker Carlson is going to be significantly engaged in the domestic and international context and discussions related to politics and media. And we saw him lay out a strategy there briefly in his video that's saying, look, this is where I think the state of play is. Now, the big question, and Christina's earlier point, is what form does that take in the future for Tucker Carlson? And how does he stay engaged? Is it through politics or the continuation through media?
Kelly, you want to pick that up?
I don't think it's through politics. I think he wants to stay out of that arena. He's more of an influencer. I mean, if you look at what he says on air in the nighttime, in the 8 p.m. hour, challenging the narrative with Ukraine, for example, you saw politics kind of adapt to Tucker Carlson's stance. Donald Trump was always with him, saying that, we should negotiate, a peace deal there and get out. But you had Ron DeSantis doing flip-flops, trying to take Tucker's narrative and then have to backtrack when his donors got upset. So Tucker Carlson has a very important voice in GOP politics, especially with the base. And I would like to see him, Rush Limbaugh's spot in radio from 12 to 3 hasn't been filled with the likeness of somebody like Rush. And I think Tucker would be a great fit for that if he wants to try radio. But I do agree with you, Rob, losing that 8 p.m. primetime spot in Fox News is a massive loss for him and his audience.
Kelly, he loses that platform, the ultimate platform. Tucker was so big, Chris, and I've said this the last couple of days, that he made Bill O'Reilly a footnote. We're not talking about just some star that was on Fox News. We're talking about, in the 25-plus year history of Fox News, their biggest star. He was their Rob Finnerty. Sorry.
Well, one of my favorite books is The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. And one of those laws is to use absence to increase honor and respect. And I think that's what Tucker's going to do for the next few months. People are going to be wishing him back on news, and I think that's going to make him even more popular when he comes back. I offered a theory on my radio show last week that I think that Dan Bongino and Tucker Carlson leaving was really part of the Dominion settlement. If you remember, they were asking for $1.6 billion. They settled for half of that. And I think the other half of that settlement is they told Fox that we want the heads of everyone that was so-called election deniers. Bongino was first. Tucker's next. I wouldn't be surprised if Judge Jeanine and Bartiromo won't be leaving the network in the following weeks.
Chris, we literally just had this conversation during the break. You want to know why I disagree? Because the $800 million settlement, I feel like we're on the radio right now, the $800 million settlement should be enough. All right, Dominion's not worth that much money. They just got almost $1 billion in the form of a check from Fox News. They don't then get to say, and you got to get rid of your biggest star. And the biggest star you've ever had, you got to get rid of Tucker Carlson. I think the network will give them one, but not both. If they did give them both, that, again, this is why we're having these conversations. What is going on at Fox News? You're going to give up Tucker Carlson and write him a check? And I don't like the argument that, no, Rupert Murdoch can write the check. He's worth billions. Nobody on this planet wants to write an $800 million check. That's why I don't like that argument.
I think the leverage that Dominion had, that we will put Tucker Carlson and all of your stars on the stand and have them testify and help further destroy Fox News, was enough emphasis for them to make.
Chris, you want to know what? But Chris, the viewers would like them more. The Fox News viewers would like them more if they had to go through that. Think about what we just went through. The people rally around people that are in trouble like that and that are being taken advantage of. And I think the viewers, I don't think they would have lost a single viewer. Kelly, final thought about 15 seconds.
No, I think Rupert Murdoch didn't like the words that were coming out of Tucker Carlson's mouth. He didn't like the words that were coming out of Dan Bongino's mouth. He doesn't like any contributor going on air and backing Donald Trump. Period. End of story. We're going to see further purges as that Fox becomes more to the center or whatever his vision is.
And the anchors, and I know a lot of these good people that are working there. They look like, it's deer in headlights all week because they know the most important story is the one story they can't talk about it. By the way, coming up in just a little bit, Senator Tommy Tuberville was on Newsmax yesterday. Unbelievable comments when it comes to Newsmax and how we sort of fit into this whole story. We'll play that for you coming up in just a little bit. Charles, Kelly, Chris, thank you.